You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Monday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
Pretty exciting stuff. As of this morning of recording the podcast right now, we are over $100,000 for the jackpot for the BCC 50/50. It's actually 101,515 as of right now.
It's so funny. I saw last night before I went to bed, we were at like 99,620 or something like that. And I was like, I remember going to bed and going, it would be so cool to wake up to it being 100,000, but I almost hope no one buys tickets overnight because it's like when you roll your odometer.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be there to see it. I don't want to sleep through it.
We're doing the draw November 1st, so if you haven't got tickets, there's a link in the podcast description there, or if you just go to bcc5050.ca, let us know. Of course, 50% going to Breast Cancer Canada, 50% could be going in your pocket. Tickets start as low as $10. You can get 5 tickets for $10, $25, 20 tickets, $50, 100 tickets, or $100. You can get 500 tickets.
And we're out of early bird draws. Congratulations to Scott, who just won $2,000 this morning on the show. But you shouldn't need any extra motivation at this point. There's two pretty big things to think of. Either you want to support Breast Cancer Canada, and that's why you're buying a ticket, or you want to win over $50,000, which is like a year's salary for some people.
You're either selfish or you love boobs, or you're both, all right?
Honestly, both is an option, right? Like, I want to support Breast Cancer Canada. Would love 50 grand.
Save the boobies and put some money in your pocket.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Wherever you are and wherever you're off to today, we hope that you get there safely because, as we all know, everybody here sucks at driving. Everybody that lives here sucks at driving. And I actually saw a survey where we're finally getting to the honesty of it all because everybody seems to think they're the greatest driver on earth. But a recent survey down in the States said about 40% of people figure they could probably remember and follow all the safety rules they learned when they got their driver's test in the first place.
Oh, absolutely not.
There's so many like finicky little rules if you actually go through like the driver's handbook and stuff like that. And like I know there's a graduated system here in Ontario. Back in Alberta when I got my driver's license, it was pretty basic stuff on the test. But if you really dig into it, there's a lot of stuff there that you can get fined and pulled over for that you'd never know.
I honestly think that every 5 years when you have to like renew your actual license itself, whatever it is, you should have to do a driver's test because it's like you're going to be the best driver as soon as you get your license.
Right, when it's freshest in your head.
And then you get all these bad traits as the years go on, right?
Well, I mean, you think about it this way, right? 2 biggest pieces of identification that a person can get in their lifetime generally is going to be your driver's license and your passport. Why is the one I need to travel the one I have to renew every 5 years? And the one I used to drive every day is just like, no, you're good. You got it once, you're fine.
I go downtown all the time, and I feel like a driving instructor judging everyone on their parallel parking, but then also, like, it takes me 2 or 3 tries most of the time, too. So, like, none of us would ever pass our driver's test. If the way we all parallel park, none of us would pass that test.
Honestly, I'm not even onto parallel parking. I'm still shocked at how many of you need help turning right. Like turning a right-hand turn, the most basic of turns. You'll come up to an intersection and you'll see someone try to turn right, and they're dropping all the way down to like 2 kilometers an hour to safely make the maneuver.
You want to talk about turning? People don't even use their turn signals. None of you. None of you. Especially you people who drive BMWs. None of you would pass your driver's test.
Everyone's out here failing.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I was looking at more of this test, and they asked them some other questions. Also, apparently, only 64% of people in the survey thought that they knew what the check engine light looked like.
That's bad.
64%, like, hey, good for them. 36% of people were bold enough to be like, oh, I have no idea what the check engine light looks like.
I will say there's a few things that come up on my dash light that I'm like, I have to go to the
for sure,
the manual for.
I'm certainly not going to sit here and pretend, you know me, softest hands in the league. I don't know what half these lights look like. but I know which one is the check engine light. That's the important.
I mean, I know a lot of people like to light up their dashboard like it's a Christmas tree and just drive around, but...
You know what the two? I know the check engine light, and I know the tire one, because I never deal with it.
You know the oil change one at least, too, right?
Oh, yeah. That's the... Oh, no. Maybe that's the oil temperature.
It's the one that literally looks like a little thing of oil. Yeah.
You know what? No, I do know that one. It's just never come on. I've just been lucky enough. You know, because I'm one of those people that I stick to the schedule. If the person at the dealership or at the oil change place tells me you need to be here by this date, I'll book it. I'll see you on that date.
Yeah.
Because I don't know well enough myself.
I think the only time I open up my manual is when something goes up on my dash, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
Is the owner-operator manual for a car maybe the least read piece of literature on earth?
Probably.
Like, I mean, honestly, like, I know there are car guys and mechanics and stuff like that who can read that stuff front to back, but even then, I'm guessing it's a similar situation to what you're saying of, like, I only open it when I need it.
I feel like it's that in, like, terms and agreement.
When you're signing up for, like, a program or website.
Like, if you have an iPhone, there's no way you've ever read all that mumbo-jumbo.
100%.
Like,
there could be, like, the most banger rap song in the middle of a terms and conditions, and we'll never know the lyrics.
Oh, yeah. There's probably things that we've signed up for that are going to bite us in the ass. Like, we've probably already agreed to be test subjects for something.
One day, some tech company is going to come to claim my firstborn because I unwittingly just said, yeah, I agree, so that I could, like, watch a football game online or something.
It's like your car manual, terms and agreements, and any sort of IKEA furniture instructions.
Dude, you know what the bad thing about the IKEA ones are? Those are pictures. That's a picture book, and we're still not reading it.
It's the most difficult picture book to get through, though.
There's no words in it, and we're still like, who's got the time?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
It's time for Brock and Dalby's Draft.
All right, with Halloween approaching here, everyone's getting their candy stocked up. This morning, we are going to do a draft of the worst Halloween candy that you could get.
The nice thing is, there's still 10 days to Halloween. Meaning if you hear something on our draft lists that you were thinking about giving out for Halloween this year, there's still time for you to change.
All right, let's get into it. We're doing the draft of the worst Halloween candy of all time. You got the first pick.
I'm taking first pick, and I was thinking, I went back and forth on this, but I'm going with... Some people want to give out things that are healthy, and it's unnecessary. And if you're giving out a box of raisins for Halloween this year, you're doing it wrong.
Don't get me wrong. I do love raisins, but they don't belong in a trick-or-treat bag.
Raisins as a food are not as bad as people make them out to be. They're a great little snack. But it's Halloween. Come on.
My number one, I'm going to go with Rockets, man.
What?
Those flavored little chalk pills.
That's your number one?
Those are the worst. They look like little ecstasy tabs. They're terrible.
I love Rockets.
Ugh.
That's crazy.
I honestly, they suck, man. And half the time they break in your bag, too, on top of that.
Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. I would take Rockets on maybe a top 3 best.
Ew, really?
Oh, I love Rockets.
Ugh, gross.
All right, well, round number 2, that leaves it wide open for me to take what might have been the most texted in of all candies, candy corn.
Sure.
No one's having a good time with candy corn. It tastes like wax.
You want to go there? I'll go with my number 2 pick. I'm going to go with those molasses candies.
Oh, the ones in the black, orange, and yellow wrappers?
Ugh, half molasses, half melted plastic.
I also kind of like those ones.
What is wrong with your taste buds, dude?
I don't know, man.
Those are like rock hard pieces of bitter, waxy evil is all they are.
Nah, man, it's just a nice chew. It's like having a piece of gum that doesn't run out of flavor.
There is something wrong with your mouth.
Okay, well, listen, let's hear me out. My number 3 is the popcorn ball. I don't want anything homemade coming out of your kitchen.
I don't trust anything homemade on Halloween.
The popcorn ball is the worst one. Like, you just took a big batch of popcorn, rolled it up, and now what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
Just throw it in the bag. It's all like covered in some sort of like caramel or something like that. I'm gonna lose it too.
Yeah, that's getting thrown back at the house, honestly.
Gross.
Finally, I'm gonna go with the Tootsie Roll.
Damn.
I don't care how big or small those are. Leave those out of Halloween. They absolutely suck. And it's another one that's just waxy and hard and break your teeth.
I don't agree with you on the molasses chews you took at number 2, but we are firm handshakes on number 3. A Tootsie Roll bite is just, I would rather get an apple with a razor blade in it. I think it would be better for my mouth.
100%. Run through your picks one more time.
All right, I got the box of raisins at number 1, candy corn at number 2, and I took the popcorn ball at number 3.
I see people already disrespecting me on the text line. I'm sticking with my first pick. I'm going Rockets number 1, worst candy to get on Halloween.
Crazy.
I'm going with the Kerr's molasses. Is that's what they're called?
That's the one, yeah.
At number 2, and I'm going Tootsie Rolls at number 3.
Man, I'm coming over to your house. I'm going to take all your Halloween candy this year.
That's okay. You can have it all. Your taste buds are fried. You need to go to a doctor.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
You know, I'm man enough to admit when I lost. I'll give you the...
Doesn't change your opinion.
I am not going to take the flack that I am getting on the text line for putting Rockets in at number 1 of the worst Halloween candy of all time.
You have defenders. There are people who are like, I think I saw one text that was like, finally someone says the truth about Rockets.
Did all of you stay after school for detention and just eat chalk all the time? Is that why you like that stuff?
You know what's crazy? That's Smarties in the States.
Yeah.
Eh? They don't have Smarties. They just have Rockets.
And people are saying I should get the shame bell? Shame on all of you for your gross taste buds.
You can't shame Bell from last place. You don't get to play that card.
I will say we are getting a lot of people texting other stuff of like worst things to get at Halloween that aren't candy. I mean, apples is a big one there.
Apples is weird. Candy apples, I think people don't really do anymore, but those were bad. Also, on that same sort of dental idea,
The floss, the
people
toothbrush.
who give floss out are just bad
If you're
people.
giving anything except candy and chocolate on Halloween, that honestly deserves a...
Listen, I go to my dentist once every 8 to 12 months. I get a free toothbrush there. I don't need one when I'm trick-or-treating.
The only thing that you should be handing out that isn't candy is chips or pop.
Yeah, no, 100%. If you're giving out a pop, even if it's those mini cans now, which like those are so much more prevalent in the grocery stores now, that's a perfect Halloween treat if you want to be the house that stands out.
Yeah.
If you're giving out toothbrushes or dental floss, just be prepared for toilet paper in your treats.
We honestly need people to hand out pop. That way you can wash up your dry-ass mouth from eating those Rockets, dude.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
There's an airport in New Zealand that kind of went viral over the weekend because they put up a sign at the airport at like the drop-off zone that said max hug time 3 minutes.
Oh, that's long, isn't it?
That's way too long for a hug.
I was going to say, that feels,
We can both agree on that?
I feel like we don't need to be hugging for 3 minutes.
I feel like that's taking longer than most people take to make a baby.
3 minutes is a long time, depending on who you ask.
I'm going to say the longest you need for a hug is like 20, 30 seconds max.
I mean, I get, like, if you're... Because this is departure gate, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So you've brought somebody to the airport, they're flying, maybe this is the end of a relationship, somebody's had to move, maybe you're taking your kids, they're going to college.
But you're also at the drop-off. It's like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. When I was at the Toronto airport a few weeks ago, I couldn't even say bye to my girlfriend. They were yelling at me already for getting out of my car.
I don't know. I guess I can see where somebody in a really emotional moment might, like... I don't want to let go because when I let go, then that means this is over for whatever reason it is. But 3 minutes is a long time.
I feel like 3 minutes you're like grappling at that point.
You're adjusting for position.
Also, I get what you're saying is like the idea of one person is like, I don't want to let go.
Right.
But I feel like a hug is kind of like a conversation. One of two people is always over it before the other person. You know what I mean?
100%. Most hugs end when someone finally is like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna slide out here.
Yeah.
That's actually being a parent. If your kids come and give you too many hugs, you're just like, all right, buddy, like you're good. Just go away. Give me some space.
Hugs are like relationships. One person is way more into it than the other.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I want to try something here.
Okay.
This is 10 seconds.
Okay. We're hugging.
Still hugging.
Maybe a pat on the back here.
Still hugging.
I'm good.
Still hugging.
I would like to go now.
That was 10 seconds. That still feels long.
Unless it's like with your significant other. I just don't see, again, maybe the example of a parent dropping their kids off at college for that one last hug sort of thing. But that's still a long one.
I do like Robert texted in and he said you get 3 back taps, and then once the third back tap, that's like the let it go. That's like tapping out from the angle lock or something.
That's right. Yeah. I am submitting to this hug.
Friend of the show, Michelle, said I'm French Canadian, so hugs with my family can take up to an hour when we're leaving a family event because there's so many people, and they always keep coming back for second hugs.
See, that's the thing, though. That's the hug vortex that you're stuck in, where you're going hug to hug to hug to hug. That's not one hug. If each hug in the vortex takes a minute, you'll never leave.
I think that's one of those things where it's all about the hug that you give someone.
Right.
You got to give them the one-armed hug where it's like, I'm not fully committed to this.
You're giving them, with your body language, you're giving them the knowledge that, like, I'm not fully here. I just want a quick, like, hey, we're cool, but I would like to maintain some distance.
Like that side hug that girls give to guys that they're totally not interested in.
Right, yeah.
That's the kind of hug that you need to give people to get out of.
If you're in a hurry to leave, you can't commit to a full 2-arm hug unless you've got nowhere to be.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
You know those BuzzFeed quizzes that are so much fun? Yeah, that's not what this is. It's the quiz with Brock and Dalby.
All right, for the quiz today, we are going to see if Dalby can cast the demons out of these songs, as today's theme is songs with devil in the title.
I had a lot of confidence, and then I started thinking, I was like, I know a lot of titles with devil. I don't necessarily know for sure which one goes with which band.
Okay.
So this might not be as good as I was hoping it would be.
All right, Father Dalby, are you ready?
Is this my confession?
Yeah, I'd like to think you're performing an exorcism this morning, in a sense.
The power of Ozzy compels you.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
When I say Van Halen, you would say?
Running with the devil.
There you go. There's one demon down.
Slain, so to speak.
Should have got you holy water this morning.
Oh, yeah.
When I say In Excess, you would say?
The devil inside.
There you go.
We're going to In Excess on number 2? How deep are the cuts coming after this?
I thought this was a popular song, is it not?
Is In Excess popular?
They were. They were. When I say Motley Crue, you would say?
Motley Crue's Devil Song is what's that song?
Oh, really? This is the one that's going to... You were just talking about In Excess, and this is the one that's going to stump you?
Well, just, all right, calm down.
This is going to be Shane Bell worthy here.
Motley Crue.
That's way too long of pandering.
Yeah, shout at the devil. I said it before he did, so...
Damn, dude.
I don't know why you rushed me. That's under protest. I was about to say it.
I hate to do this to...
No, you cut me off.
To Father Dalby here this morning, but...
Shame.
I can't believe you do that.
Shame on you, sir.
Rigged. The whole thing's rigged. This
Shame
is a conspiracy.
on you. All right, well, let's see if you get this one then. Rolling Stones?
Rolling Stones' Sympathy for the Devil.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's got sympathy for the devil, but he won't shout at him, apparently.
Well, why would I shout at him? What are you shouting for?
You're supposed to be a priest.
I was going to shout, and then you interrupted me.
Flogging Molly?
Flogging Molly?
Come on! Every St. Patrick's Day we play this song.
And I'm not paying attention.
No?
I don't know.
No?
No, I think
Devil's Dance Floor?
Dude, normally when you play the song that I got wrong, I'm like, oh, of course it's that one. I sit here as undisturbed as I was when you said the words flogging Molly.
We're not having a beer on St. Patrick's Day this year.
Shame.
No double shame bell. This
That's
is
a double shame.
unacceptable.
That is a double shame. My Irish relatives are pissed at you right now.
Your shame bell privilege is going to get revoked.
All right, this one's a two-parter. When I say Billy Talent, there are 2 songs that I need from you.
Oh, Devil on My Shoulder.
Okay, yeah, that's one.
What is the other? I know they have a second.
Creepy music video that used to be on Much Music all the time.
Oh,
Little kid in a
man.
church.
Oh.
That doesn't give you any hints? Cast the demons out of this song, dude.
I can't think of the second one. No.
You got it?
No. Devil in a Midnight Mass. Well, yeah, that's a song people have heard of before, not this flogging Molly nonsense.
You know what? For your sins today,
Huh?
10 Hail Marys, Dalby.
10 Hail Marys?
10 Hail
All right.
Marys.
All right.
And one more.
Forgive me.
Shame.
The shame bell means nothing. You've driven it into the ground. I feel nothing for the shame bell.
You wouldn't have brought it up again if you didn't feel shame.
I've built up a tolerance. I'm immune to your shaming.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
A couple weeks ago, my son started trying Duolingo, the language learning app that you can get on your phone.
Is he trying to learn Spanish or something?
Trying to learn Italian.
Oh.
And cannot for the life of him explain why. I guess he saw an ad for Duolingo, wanted to try it, and just threw a dart, randomly chose Italian.
How's that going for the big guy?
So he stuck with it for about 2-3 weeks. I was actually pretty impressed. And then he just, as an 8-year-old will, got bored of it.
I wish he stuck with it, because then he could have started cursing at you in Italian and you wouldn't even know.
Even if I did know, I'd have respected it. If you're going to put in the hustle to learn a new language just to cuss, you should be allowed to cuss wherever you want. That's my thought.
Sure.
But he signed up under my email account because, he's 8 and needs an email account. And now I've started getting threatening emails from Duolingo.
Oh, I have heard from people that the app is pretty good for that, where it's like,
Yeah.
if you bail on it for a few days, they'll be like, hey, it's been 5 days. Hey, it's been 10 days.
Right.
Like,
They really keep up on trying to make you stay on the app. And they dress it up as like, some people just need that motivation to stick with something.
bro, if only my gym could send me those notifications. Like,
Is Planet Fitness sending you
Holy.
threatening emails every couple of weeks?
I'd need that.
Haven't seen your fat ass in a while.
I'd
Thought
love
maybe
that.
you could come by.
I'd love that.
But I was just because they have that. Have you seen the Duolingo owl? That's like their mascot, their
Okay,
logo.
little green guy.
Yeah. And they've got him in like commercials and stuff like that. And they've really oddly leaned into like him being a bit of a menace, like threatening and running down people to get back on the app.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, 'tis the season. We need a Duolingo owl Halloween movie where the owl he's had enough of you ignoring his app notification and his emails, and he's going to murder you now for not learning Spanish. Like, I'm sure that the Duolingo people don't want it to go that far.
Yeah.
But I think that you could make a great movie using the Duolingo owl as a horror villain.
Honestly, I'm surprised they haven't done this with more mascots. I mean, Ronald McDonald easily could be in a horror movie.
Oh, dude, I mean, just take it. Take Pennywise out. Put Ronald McDonald down in the sewer flipping a burger.
It's not even the sewer, it's the play place at McDonald's.
It's just dragging
Pops
kids.
out of the ball pit. It's like, we all float down here.
Dragging kids into the ball pit of
We
hell.
all have high cholesterol down here.
Although, if you're going to go to fast food mascots, it's got to be the Burger King. The Burger King is a silent killer.
I think the creepiest mascot of all times is the old guy from Six Flags.
Oh, yo.
The guy that would just show up out of nowhere and...
That dude is trying so hard to get you on the roller coaster only so he can undo your safety belt when you go through the loop-de-loop.
Yeah, if any old guy just walks up to you and your family and wants to hang out at the amusement park, I don't know.
Either he's lost and his family is looking for him, or he has bad intentions.
The ghost of Six Flags.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Somebody said the car fox from Carfax.
Like he knows too much. That's the problem. That fox has way too much.
He's cutting the wires in your car.
Yeah, show me the car fox on that.
He's like cutting your brake lines as you're going. That could actually work pretty well.
Somebody said, do you remember the old rats from Quiznos commercials? I think they were called...
Rats from Quiznos.
They were called sponge monkeys. Let me just show you. So they're like... I don't know if these were like taxidermied rats or whatever.
Is that real?
Yeah, and then they would have like hats and stuff on, and
That
they would
is
sing songs.
Absolutely terrifying.
These were real commercials.
This isn't like an internet bit?
No.
This feels like something I see when I drink Neocitrin and I go to sleep.
Brother, this feels like a Text Us Tuesday song made by a real corporation. And that's why you don't see Quiznos anymore.
Someone said Jake from State Farm could be a killer. It's one of those things where he's talking to you on the phone. Your wife thinks cheating on him kind of thing.
Honestly, the Jolly Green Giant is one that someone texted in. And I think you could have like, it wouldn't be like your psychological horror, but I think you could easily slot the Jolly Green Giant into a Godzilla movie as the bad guy, and no one would bat an eye.
Absolutely. And he's just trying to kill us by making us eat our vegetables.
Just slamming giant Brussels sprouts on Tokyo. Just, ah!
I think the best one that you could do is the hamburger helper hand. he goes psychopath and starts strangling people.
Imagine being smothered by the glove.
Yeah. You bought like a knockoff version and he gets mad at you.
Oh, he's so pissed. Or you're putting like ground turkey in your hamburger helper and it just comes out of the box and just get out of
The
here.
hamburger strangler.
This is the Brock and Delby Podcast.
Halloween is quick approaching here, and I know this weekend lots of people are going to Halloween parties. And the biggest worry is they don't have their costume ready. You don't want to go to the store. You don't want to spend too much money. So every year I like to come up with these easy Halloween costume ideas for people.
This is good because I'm starting to get to the age too where my kids want me to take them trick-or-treating, but they want me to dress up as well, and I don't have costume ideas, so I'm very excited for this.
I'm looking at some of the trends from 2024, and I think we can all agree that the Hawk Tua girl was one of the biggest ones.
The fact that Hawk Tua is a thing that people even understand anymore. Yeah.
If anyone has a Tua Tagovailoa, whatever that guy's name is, Dolphins jersey, you could throw that on top and then maybe make some wings, and you could be the Hawk Tua.
You were Hawk Tua.
You could do that, right? I was also thinking maybe another good couple's costume idea would be if you're a guy with long black hair and a beard, you could be Dave Grohl.
Okay.
And then you put a basketball under your missus' shirt. You could be Dave Grohl and the mistress. Also works really good if you're pregnant and you're going to a party.
And it works even better if you're in a throuple.
Another one that I was thinking about is one person could just dress as a pole.
Okay.
Just wear all white. And then the other one could be the French pole vaulter from this year.
Oh, gee.
Maybe pick up a little salami, let your mind kind of figure out that one there.
You got to watch if you're going to be at any kind of a party where PDA might be a problem with that costume.
Another one that I was thinking of is, it's what we did when the eclipse happened. One of you dresses as the sun. The other one just wears all black and you just walk in front of each other all night long.
Just keep crossing paths. Yeah, it's one of the easiest costumes. You could put some high-vis tape and stuff on there to really make the sun bright.
Yeah. And then if you're just riding solo to a Halloween party this year, I was thinking you could dress up as like the classic robber style, from cartoons, maybe like the striped shirt, the thing over the eyes, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then rather than just carrying like a bag with money on it, you just carry like a President's Choice bag and you're Galen Weston.
Perfect. That is probably the most apt, perfect costume we'll hear all year.
The Brock and Delby Podcast.
The Brock and Delby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
Let's see what he's got for us.
Good morning. Today's word, prolix. That prolix.
Prolix?
Prolix. Prolix. And it's unduly prolonged or drawn out too long. Marked by or using an excess of words or excessively high diction. Yeah, sometimes you just got to say shut the hell up and move on. Anyway, that about does it. Cheers her up. Have a great one.
Prolix.
Prolix. Kind of like what Ed did describing the word prolix.
It's a bit of a prolix.
It's just too many words. It feels like when I was back in high school and you wouldn't do the studying for an essay, so you just word vomit onto the page, big sweeping things to make it get to your word limit.
Yeah.
But you really weren't talking about anything.
I'm officially going to refer to people who try to use big words in sentences as pro-lickers from now on. That's what I'm going to call it. Anytime someone uses a big word just to try and sound smart when they're talking, they're pro-lixing.
Where it doesn't really fit, it's unnecessary, you're not proving anything.
You're a pro-licker.
You're pro-licking.
Yeah.
Can it at least be pro-lixing? Does it have to be pro-licking?
You're pro-lixing, but then you would be a pro-licker.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I really don't like it.
That'll stop you from using big words.
The Brock and Delby Podcast is brought to you by the Brock and Delby 50/50 raffle in support of Breast Cancer Canada.
Buy your ticket today at bcc5050.ca or click the link in the podcast description.